A great Tanner season ends in a heartbreaking loss in the preliminary round of the state tournament versus the St. Mary's Spartans. With each season, the goal is clear: win the tournament. Losing 2-0 to their nearby rival left the team and its fan base stunned and heartbroken. But that was then. This is now. This is the story of the 2018-19 Tanner girls ice hockey season. We were once again allowed inside access to arguably the greatest Tanner team to set foot on the ice to date. Fourth-year coach Michelle Roach set the bar high for her bunch going into the season, looking to build on the previous year's success. She is justified. Their record has improved each year since her hiring, so anything less than a tournament berth is just unacceptable.
So we had a few goals coming into the season, so we sort of came up with goals as a team, as different steps. We obviously wanted to do better than we did last year. We did very well last year, but we wanted to raise the bar a little bit. So our first goal was to make sure that we wanted to take the top of the league. So we are co-champs this year, so that was a good goal of ours. We wanted to get into the tournament as early as we could, and so we ended up, I think it was right at the end of January, we were able to qualify for the tournament.
The trek towards their goals would not come easily right from the get-go, though. With 6 graduating seniors, key roles needed to be filled. Roach answered this dilemma by proving, well, she has quite the eye for talent.
My name's Lily Piscatelli, Ella McTeague, Maddie Markowitz, Kayla Griffin, Audrey Buckman, Catherine Sweet, I'm Anya Pinio. Hi, I'm Jeff Mack.
Many were expected to step up almost immediately, and they have left positive impressions on their coach as well as their teammates.
I think from last year, this year, we're a lot stronger, and we have freshmen in that are helping us out a lot.
I am very impressed with the freshman class that we have, so that we have 10 total freshmen. Right now we have 3 key contributor spots in our first 2 lines and our top 2 D pairings.
The freshman facing probably the toughest odds is Maria Pierce. The forward took over the center spot on the Mirasolo-Thibodeau line, the spot formerly occupied by Sammie Mirasolo's older sister Cassie. The two have formed almost instantaneous on-ice chemistry.
Rotating up high. DiGiulio, nice tip. Rebound. Maria Pierce scores!
So coming in as a freshman, from the very first day, even from captain's practices, everyone was so welcoming, and it's just been a really fun season.
Taking over the blue line spots of May Norton and Katie Purcell are freshmen Catherine Sweeney and Sadie Gearan. Both first-year players took over with relative ease, attributing their success to the tight-knit, almost family-like bond of the bunch they've become a part of on and off the ice.
Being a Tanner is a lot of fun. It's one big family here, and you just feel loved. It's just good being a Tanner. It's a great community.
I think that it helps that we have such a good team, bonding, and we all work so well together, and everyone helps each other out to do so well on the ice.
Gearan also possesses one of the deadliest slap shots in the conference. That's not sound editing, folks. That's literally the sound her stick makes hitting a puck. If you're a defender, you may want to duck whenever Gearan has the puck on her stick.
Go scores! Sadie Gearan!
Well, I've been working on it for the past few years, and I also play field hockey, so this season, it kind of just came natural to me, and so now I use it a ton.
I think as we progress, since we have a very young group right now, I think as we progress, they have the opportunity to really, the majority of them, be key contributors as they move up and they develop in the program. And so I think it is a really good opportunity that they have right now to be part of an awesome team.
To lead so many young players requires leadership, not just on the bench, but on the ice as well. Newly elected senior captains Kat DiGiulio and Charlotte Grant took to the role with ease and class.
DiGiulio. Kat DiGiulio makes it 6-3.
Well, I think as a captain on any team, your responsibility, one of your main responsibilities, is to be that constant support for that team, and just be the person that helps bond the team and build that relationship, outside of the ice or any field that you're playing on.
As a captain for the team, I definitely feel like the leadership responsibility is very important, because we have to, the coach has us, she delegate responsibilities, so she'll have us make sure everyone's behaving. We're going to try to warm ups and some drills, so it's not stressful or anything. It's actually a lot more fun.
If you're a fan of this team, I think you'll agree that they're an absolute offensive juggernaut.
We have the benefit of we consider ourselves to be running 2 first lines.
Offense was never hard to find this season. Up from 68 to 82 regular season goals from last year, the goal scorers were once again led by Sammie Mirasolo. And oh boy, did she impress.
In the middle, Mirasolo, breakaway, moving in. Oh, she pops it! And defeated across, it's in the crease, it's still live, and it's a Tanner goal! Mirasolo got it! Mirasolo, breakaway opportunity, Sammie scores! Mirasolo, second of the game. Short-handed goal, 3 on net, shot, save, rebound, it's loose in the crease, and Mirasolo tucks it in on the rebound! Mirasolo quickly loses, Deaking in the middle, shot. Mirasolo! Tremendous individual effort, pots her second of the game, it's 2-0, Peabody. Mirasolo, breakaway, in. Mirasolo has a hat trick here in the second period of game number 20.
It feels really good. It's good to see hard work pay off, and especially having my teammates there with me. I couldn't do without them, my line mates, and just the team, everyone in general.
In addition to number 8 on the wings, she was one of the 4 10-plus goal scorers on the club, joined by sophomore Jen Flynn, senior Jess Robert, and new line mate freshman Maria Pierce.
On net, in the crease, it's still live. Rebound, Tanner goal! It's Jen Flynn! Fed it across, score! Jen Flynn pots it 4-0 in the second. Sealed her tournament visit into the middle, in front. What a save, rebound, and it's a goal. Jess Robert puts the Tanners up 1-0.
I think we're all working really well together, and Paige and Kat too. They have a lot of assists, and they feed into all of our goals that we come up with. I think we're all able to work together, and whoever puts the puck in the net, we're just always there, so we're crashing the net.
Robert, number 28, one of the best two-way forwards on the team, displayed her offensive abilities for all in the annual Carlin Cup match versus Bishop Fenwick, netting the most elusive prize for any individual hockey player, a hat trick.
Racing for the puck, in on net, Robert in front, shot, Jess Robert has the hat trick in the Carlin Cup.
I scored 3 goals, which is a hat trick, but I wouldn't have been able to with my team. They definitely passed it up, and it got open for me, and I just happened to pop it in at the right time.
Backing up the forwards is one of the best defensive cores in the conference, led by junior Carolyn Garofoli. The hard-hitting defender is the de facto vet in the defensive core, and she's taken a leadership role to mentor her battery mates in the art of playing defense.
I mean, it's definitely good that we have new defenders coming in. They're definitely helping out the team, but, since I switched since freshman year, it's a little different, but it's good to have, new kids coming in and just kind of owning the D.
Players like Riley Ganter now have a year's experience under their belt and are expected to build on their skills as they progress through the ranks. She attributes much of her success to having Garofoli as her mentor all season.
Riley Ganter is on the board!
The chemistry is a lot better with us, and I think that coming into freshman year I was more scared, and I probably was not as confident in myself, but now this year, being with Carolyn, who's a junior, I feel a lot better and more better playing with her, and she really helps me out a lot with that.
God, the fans want it. Shot, save, Buckley, rebound.
Don't worry, goalies. I didn't forget about you. The last line of defense is once again led by senior Abby Buckley. It's amazing the level of play she maintains, considering her spot on the ice is probably the most stressful to play. Games are often decided on the pads of a goaltender.
I try to focus on the positives that we've had throughout the season, and I try to focus on what we've done in practice and bring it into the game, and also focus on bringing my teammates together to win, and yeah.
She's not alone, however. Her backup Jen Collins showed flashes of brilliance all season, going 6-0 with 3 shutouts to her resume, allowing only 6 goals all year. It seems pretty obvious, folks. The Tanners have 2 #1 goaltenders on their roster.
What a save by Collins! Pierce on the draw. Losing it, Collins, it's loose! And she does a full split and does a remarkable save.
Yeah, it's also a high-stress position, as you said earlier, so you guys keep your cool and stuff, even when you get scored on, especially when you're losing. So, maybe you can make an amazing save and get the team back in it and hopefully win the game.
game in the end.
Now that you've met the squad, let's get to the playoffs. To clinch a berth, the Tanners would need to beat the Waltham Hawks on home ice. The Mirasolo line started it fairly early, I'd say.
Versus Oakmont across Thibodeau. Page Thibodeau! What passing by the Tanners, and they're already up not even a minute into the game. And they're starting early in Peabody. Oh, wait, what will they call that? Oh, off the face! Had rung the iron.
It wasn't going to come easily, however. A goal by Waltham in the second period cut the lead in half.
Babstock puts the Waltham Hawks on the board.
But Jess Roberts then put on one of the best individual efforts that I have ever witnessed, scoring what I would pick as my Tanner goal of the year.
Shooting score, Jess Robert! What an individual effort by Jessica Robert! Moves past the defenders and goes backhand on Burke. And they're just 4.5 minutes away from the state tournament.
A Mirasolo empty netter set the stage for another tournament berth. Goal accomplished.
The Peabody Tanners are moving on to the state tournament for the second year in a row. The Tanners will have playoff hockey in Peabody.
Now, the practice footage you're seeing, folks, was shot in the week leading up to the first playoff game versus the Winthrop Vikings. From first-hand experience, I can tell you with the utmost confidence, ladies and gentlemen, this team's desire to win burns like an inferno.
Yeah, definitely. We have to be at the top of our game like we always are. We just have to go in as a positive mindset and definitely just play our game, calm down. And I think we'll do really well. We just stick to the basic systems.
I'm very excited. It's hopefully going to be our first tournament win. That's what we're hoping for. That's one of our goals for this season. So I'm hoping that we beat them at home once. So beating them again would be very nice my senior season.
So we feel great going into tomorrow. We're playing well. We're looking good. We just came off of 3 practices where they worked really hard and we tweaked some things, tightened things up, and I think we are playing the type of hockey that we needed to be playing at this point of the year.
The Tanners in their dressy white and blue taking on the Vikings in their navy and gold at the McVan O'Keefe Arena.
Here they were once again, first round, a game that had dashed their hopes 2 years in a row. 1 game, 1 goal. Game on.
With them we're underway. And Pierce laying a body check.
Kat DiGiulio got it all started pretty early, scoring a goal that showcased the Tanners' teamwork for all to see.
DiGiulio comes out with it. DiGiulio in front. Kat DiGiulio scores! Peabody is in the lead 1-0 with a minute to go in the first.
The steady hand of Abby Buckley and net kept them alive with remarkable individual effort and poise.
Breakaway opportunity on in. Winthrop. No, it is stopped by Buckley. My word, what a save.
I've often been told that in hockey, a 1-goal lead is never safe. Kat DiGiulio took care of that, though.
Here comes Kat DiGiulio. 2-on-1 with Jen Flynn to her left. They move in. She shoots. Kat DiGiulio scores her second of the game. 2-0 Peabody.
2-0. Final minutes. For the Tanners and their fans, time cannot possibly move any slower. Moments away from accomplishing what no one before them has. Each save,
1:16 to go.
each shot,
57 seconds to go.
each practice,
30 ticks to go in regulation.
each check,
24 to go.
it's all led to right now.
For the first time in team history, the Peabody Tanners will advance to the second round of the state tournament. What was thought to be the impossible 4 years ago has occurred tonight, February 27, 2019.
Oh, baby, we got playoff hockey coming your way from Watertown, Mass.
Let's go Tanners!
On to round 2. Against who? None other than the team that knocked them out last year, the St. Mary's Spartans. Roach against her former coach? A rematch? Battle of the Wills? whatever you called it, you were in for a spectacle, ladies and gentlemen. To date, this was the biggest game of their lives.
Puck is dropped.
From the beginning, it looked pretty obvious their strategy. Play tight defense and take your opportunities up ice whenever they came. The first period, the Tanners absolutely dominated the offensive pressure. Oh, and not to mention, Abby Buckley played the game of her life, extending the season one save at a time.
Almost, it didn't get the rebound. Buckley just happened to have her pad pressed against the iron. Shot and Buckley squeezing it between her legs. Buckley from the point, sprawling, rebound, she has it underneath, and she sure enough does. My goodness. Shot slapper, Buckley into her gut, and she has it. Time to saves back to the point. Lets it go. Ripped out of the air with the glove.
All of those remarkable saves kept her team alive, and Jess Robert took advantage.
Shot. Jess Roberts scores! She roofs it over Vaccaro. It's 1-0 Peabody in the second period.
A few minutes later, she simply wasn't done yet.
She gets trying to play it through. Thank you, says Jess Robert. They try to catch her out of front. She scores! Jessica Roberts, second of the game.
Entering the third period, the Tanners were 15 minutes away from avenging their loss the previous season. The Tanner players, and the Tanner fans in the stands, this had to have been the longest 15 minutes of their lives. I've said throughout the season that whenever you come to a Tanner game, you can usually expect to see Sammie Mirasolo do something impressive. Well, she did that all right. Not once, but twice.
Here she comes in on net. She scores! Mirasolo going posted in over the shoulder of Lauren Vaccaro. 3-0 Tanners in the third. Solo fresh off the bench. In alone. Deke shooting. She scores! Mirasolo with the epic celly to follow. And she is tackled and congratulated by her line mates. Oh, baby, she literally juked the defender out of her skates. She juked her, she deep.
We can only imagine what was going through the heads of every player on the ice and on the bench during those final few seconds as they ticked away ever so slowly. Miracle on Ice Part 2, anyone?
Goes. The Peabody Tanners will advance to the state quarterfinals in a year that has been so improbable. The impossible has happened here tonight. Peabody has knocked off the St. Mary's Spartans. They have gotten their revenge for last year's first-round playoff exit.
Every single player on the Tanners was at a complete loss for words after the game.
Absolutely incredible. Amazing. It feels good because we worked really hard for this, and just it honestly just feels amazing. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, surreal.
Yeah.
It's definitely very cool.
And that's how the season ended. A 7-1 loss at the hands of the Methuen-Tewksbury Red Rangers at the O'Brien Rink in Woburn, Mass. All that can be done now is to look forward to next year. And with the way the record has improved each year over the past 4 seasons, we have every reason to believe the Tanners will be right back here again next year. If the 2018-19 season proved anything to the fans, it was that this team is undoubtedly the greatest Tanner team that has ever set foot on a hockey rink, barred none. This season defied all logic and all expectations. I ended last year's feature on the team with a quote by former Philadelphia Flyers head coach Fred Shero, and I once again extend that quote to you ladies. We win today, and we walk together forever. This Tanner team won together, lost together, fought together, and will walk together forever.